Hi, this is Trinisha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about Let It Go. I didn't think that it would be like a bunch of different things that I would be talking about letting go of today, but let's go ahead and do it. So, so what made me want to talk about letting it go is earlier today I was watching this video by one of these people that I follow, and not in the Jesus kind of way, but in the like it gives me encouraging words. Sometimes it's things that I need to hear, but it might necessarily be like the nicest way or the most like calm way or softest way to say it, but it's exactly what I need to hear so that I can get up off the ground and keep it moving. So so I'm listening to this person earlier today, and they're just talking about all of these things that they went through this year, and I'm like, are they like in my life? Like, did they just see this happen to me or something? Like, how is it that we both experienced the same thing in the same year? And I talked to several people who talked about 2023 and 2022, this year that we're in, and a lot of people are saying how it's been one of their more difficult years. And for me, it's been the same. I feel like this year out of my entire life is has been the most the most spiritual warfare I have ever went through in my entire life. I don't know if it's because my relationship with God has been growing. And so, of course, there's going to be, where there's good, there's always bad or whatever else. And it's not that I haven't been blessed. It's not that God hasn't been continuously pouring into me or blessing me or showing me things in my life. It's just that everywhere I turn, it seemed like there was another spiritual warfare, or psychological battle, or emotional warfare, or whatever you want to call it. Every single place I turn, like it's just so crazy. It's like even things that don't make any sense that should work out don't work out. But the things that I don't expect to work out extremely well. And it's so weird because I really could never plan any of the things that have happened in my life. They are all things that are all God. Like the way that things happen with the book and the way things happen with my job and the way things have been happening with my entrepreneurship and the other things aspects of my life. It's just been different. And it's so weird because, like, when it comes to like any type of relationship, like friendship or romantic or whatever else, I'm thinking, okay, if I get in this situation, I'm gonna be like this. If I do this way, I'm gonna do this that way. And it's like I really don't like to say that it's Satan. Sometimes it's us just being our own worst enemy. But I really feel like Satan was really coming after me this year. Like whatever I didn't expect, wherever I didn't know the trial was gonna come, it's like he attacked me from another angle. Like he knew this was my weakness in the back in the old times, or this is my weakness previously, and he just picks up a cycle and just continuously uses whatever worked previously. And so I might be strong enough in this area, but he used it in that area. And I thought that I was going to be ready and prepared. Like I was thinking, oh yeah, when these people come at me, I'm going to be ready. I have my standards, I have my boundaries. I had no idea it was going to come from this type of person. I had no idea it was going to come from this type of thing. I had no idea it was going to be, other life things that happen. I really, like, I felt like I had already endured the worst. And I mean, never say that because you'll definitely see worse. If you feel like that's the worst that it will be, the more that God blesses you with, the more trials that you will have to encounter in your life. Which is why when people say, "Oh, you're walking around happy, I just want to be just like you." I'm like, don't be like me, be like God. Because God is perfect. I will never, ever, ever be perfect. I will always be striving to be better, but I will never be perfect. And just because you see me smile, just because I seem like I'm successful, does not mean that I don't have challenges. It doesn't mean that I don't have psychological and spiritual and emotional warfare. It doesn't mean that I don't get my heart broken. It doesn't mean that people don't like me as well. Like people are going to like me and people aren't going to like me. It's people's preference. I can't control how other people feel. And sometimes I think like when people see you in a certain light, or like if I go places and there's guys, that are like trying to talk to me, or I'm going somewhere and I get attention or something like that, people are like, "Oh, you get all this attention." But I'm not with any of those people. So obviously none of those instances worked out. So you want the attention or do you want a real person? Because I want a real person. I don't care about all of that. So you really have to just stop trying to covet what you think someone else has, because I promise you it's not anything with what you imagine it to be. I promise you that. And we could sit there and look at someone's highlight reels. We can look at someone on in society or in our family or friends or wherever else, and we might say, "Oh, she's so lucky she has a person like this." We don't know what that girl is going through in that relationship. I hope that they're happy. I hope that they both respect each other. I hope that they're both being intentional with their lives together. But I have no idea what's going on behind closed doors. I don't aspire to have anything anyone else has, because just because it works out for that girl and that guy does not mean that I am built for that. God might not have blessed me or graced me to be with that person. So why hate on their relationship when I don't even know if I can handle being in that situation? It might look good because she might be the person that's equipped for that. I might not have that type of patience. I might not have that type of, I just might not have that type of compassion or whatever it is that that person actually needs. And sometimes when we look around and we see what other people are doing or where they're going or whatever else, like here's a good example. I could take a trip to, and I'm just using me as an example because I don't want to have a personal attack on anyone or like make anyone feel any type of way. So I feel like if I say me, people will just be like, "Oh, okay, I can understand. I can kind of, that resonates with me." And so like it's like if I go to Disney World and I'm like having the time of my life. I get back home and I'm back to reality or whatever else, like people say. I'm not saying that I love my life anywhere I am that God places me in this world. And there might not always be nice people. Sometimes there's nice people, sometimes there's not. But I can only control how I am, regardless of what kind of attitude or how they want to behave. That's on them. That is not on me. I need to be showing love and kindness wherever I go, and I need to be about that life. So they might be rude, and I might have to give it back to them, but I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to be loving and kind. And when I speak up for myself, they're going to know that was the last time. Or if they feel like they constantly want to continuously try me, then I'm going to have to be about that life. And I don't have to do it in a rude way. I don't have to raise my voice. I don't have to say anything out of the way. All I have to do is just be me and be like what WWJD, what would Jesus do? So if Jesus is saying that he's not standing for anything, he's not falling for anything, he's not sitting down, laying down for anything, that's not what I'm about to do either. And also, I can do that in a respectful way. Hey, I understand that this is how you feel. I understand this might be this that's going on in your life. You're under a lot of pressure, whatever else it is. This is what I can do on my end. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. We're going to respect one another. I absolutely would love to help you in any way that I can. Period. Point blank. I mean, point blank. Okay, TG. See, now you're rubbing off on me. But but no, seriously, that's exactly what it is. It is what it is. And you could say, well, that's not like the kindest thing. No, but that's at the level that I need to be at to talk to that individual person, because I can't just say, "Oh, you really want me to do this? Oh, that's so great." Like, no, I'm not about to do that. So, if they're bringing all this negative energy in and I can't remove myself from the situation, I have to stand up for myself. I don't have any other choice, because that's how God would intend for me to live my life. He didn't say, "Hey, be some lay down for everybody so they could walk all over you." That's not what God intended for my life. He didn't say, "Hey, I brought you through all of these struggles so that you could sit down and lay down for somebody else, so they could talk to you however they want to, so they can treat you however they want you." That's not what God wants for my life. God would never want me to be miserable and unhappy and quiet. He would want me to be the type of person who has legs to stand on, the type of person who honors and respects herself. And the only way I can do that is if I voice how I feel in certain situations at the right time. I'm not just trying to cause chaos everywhere I go. At the right time, at the right place, if there's a time when I can't remove myself from a situation, I have to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. I have to be able to call on God, the power of God, to be able to help me through whatever situation it is. And the weird thing is, I'm not even the type of person who likes conflict. I don't even like to have to do stuff like that. So whenever I do it, it takes me outside of my comfort zone, but I know that it's necessary. That's the only time you will ever, in Jesus' name, see me in a situation like that, because I have no other choice. I don't just like to be that type of person at all. because honestly, it takes too much energy to pour into something that's not benefiting my life, if that makes any sense. And so, so I was just gonna say, like, if I go on a trip to Walt Disney World or somewhere else, and I'm not trying to shout out that place, I'm just saying in general, and I come back home to like the place where I am, the next person goes the next week and they're like in Disney World and they're having the time of their life, and you could see, I don't want to say me because I don't want to put myself in that situation, even though I said I was going to, I just can't. I can't. Okay, so a person sees this person, goes on a trip afterwards, and they're just like, oh, it must be nice, or oh, they are always going places. You just went there. Are you really about to sit here and be ungrateful that you got the exact same trip? You just got to go a week earlier. Like, we really have to humble ourselves and be grateful for the things that we have, even if we can't go on that trip, because we'll go on the trip one day. Like, don't just look at what someone else has and think that it's all peaches and cream. This is one picture of them on a ride or looking at something. They might have argued all day long. They might have got on each other's nerves. They might have not been able to wait to get back home so they could be apart from each other. You don't know what happened, but yet we sit there and we look at one picture with somebody smiling and we really feel as if that's their entire life. Nobody's life is constantly like this. There is always something going on. There's always ups and downs in every single person's life. So why even try to get jealous? Why even try to feel like you want to covet what someone else has? Why even feel like you have an insecurity because of someone else's relationship or what someone else has when that's obviously not for you? If it was for you, God would give it to you. God is not just holding stuff back from you because he doesn't want you to have it. He's holding stuff back because it's not going to be good for you, because it's not going to benefit you, because it's going to destroy you. It's going to end in catastrophe. It's going to stunt your growth. It's going to remove you from your purpose. Like, God is not just sitting over there like, oh, let me just show you this happy couple so you'll never get it. He's probably showing you that so that you can look at it and say, one day I'm going to be a happy couple. One day I'm going to be in a healthy, happy relationship. You're not always going to be happy. There's going to be things that happen in life. Like, that's life. It's not always just going to be peaches and cream. It's not, I don't know why people say that, but it's not always going to be smooth sailing. Sometimes you're going to hit a couple bumps on the boat. Sometimes it's going to be a storm on the boat. And like Jesus, hopefully you're sleeping on it. So that way you can make it through calm and without any type of malice, without any type of emotional turmoil, without any sort of worry, because you know God got you. And so as I'm going through and I'm looking at this video and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I went through the same thing. I really felt myself consumed in this thing. I really felt like, and it wasn't because of the other person. It wasn't because of any other people in my life. It was just my own personal struggle that I was having inwardly. Like, I was really feeling like, okay, why wouldn't this person? Why wouldn't this work? Why wouldn't I be able to do, like in my head, I was just going back and forth like, okay, you've done all this growth and all this healing, but still something's wrong with you, or still you're still not doing this. And I'm not saying it like that's how I truly feel in this moment. This is how I felt during my emotional, spiritual warfare. Like, it really made me feel like a continual, perpetual cycle of negativity. It really felt like all of the cynicism I could ever ponder, all of the cynicism that I could ever conjure up. Why do I want to say ponder and conjure at the same time? But anyways, all of that cynicism just was constantly like revolving in my brain and throughout, like, just making me feel as if like I'm missing something. Like, and that's what Satan does. He wants to make you feel like your life isn't good enough. He wants to make you feel like you need something more and really you don't need anything more. And so as I watched the video, I took notes like I always do. And in the video, the girl was talking about writing um, some of the negative things. And in my brain, because I'm a writer and because I like to, I do life coaching and things like that, it made me think of this thing. I'm giving this away for free, but but it really did help me in the moment. And I feel like it might help someone else. So I'm hoping that when I say this, this will be something that you can do that will help you get out of that mindset of I'm missing out on something, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, going on a trip, whatever it is in your life. Like, just know like where to focus your energy. So for me, I wrote, this is just what I personally think. Before you write anything negative about anyone else, or before you write down negative characteristics or anything else, you have to do some self-reflection. For me, this is the thing that I do that helps me feel like I'm taking responsibility. It helps me feel like I'm actually growing and maturing, because I feel like any person who is mature is going to take ownership of anything that they've done wrong. They're not just going to put the blame on someone else and play the blame game. They're going to really be emotionally intelligent enough to know that, hey, no one is perfect. I know you didn't say this right, but I also, that's how I think in situations. And I know like a lot of people think they're punking me or whatever else, but as long as I'm growing, as long as I'm pleasing God, I don't care what anybody else thinks. I care about people's well being. I just don't care like to try to prove myself to you. I only care about me just making sure that I'm good, making sure that I learn something from it, making sure that I'm pulling something from the lesson, making sure that if there's something that I let somebody get over on, or if they did something and I wasn't okay with it and I didn't speak up, that's me acknowledging the fact that this is an area that I need to speak up more in. This is an area that I need to watch out for in the future. It's not just like game over, you won. It's like I'm continuously living life. This is my life. It's not a game. And so, so when I take responsibility, I like to think about what I did wrong. I like to make a list. Yes, I did this today in like 5 minutes. This is what I'm talking about me liking to write. I really, really love writing this much. And I filled up all these pages. And so I wrote down like every single thing I could think of that was my fault. Something that I did that I could control that I did not control in the moment, or something that I overlooked, something that I would like to do better in the future, is what I wrote down in this list of reflection, of me taking personal responsibility for anything that I've done in my previous situation. And underneath, I wrote release. So in the video, the girl talked about negative, anything negative you could think of. For me, I feel like it should be a reflection and a release, because you're reflecting on what it is that you did. So you're taking some accountability, you're taking responsibility, and then you're releasing that by having a list of all of the things that they did not do, all of the things that you would love for someone to do, but they just didn't do it. And it's not saying that anything's wrong with this person. It's not to put this person down, to just like beat a person down and just make them feel like they are insignificant or they're not good enough. It's so that you can remind yourself of things that you were missing, so that when you're looking for the right person, you'll be able to notice it right off. It won't be something like you have to try to convince yourself that, oh, they didn't do this, but that's okay. Like, no, they didn't do this, and this is something that you need. So it's not okay, period. Like, it's not ever going to be okay. So, so, so you make a list of all the things that happen, like whether it's taking your time before like going on a date, or it's like communication wise, or if it's when someone doesn't take responsibility for the actions, or maybe they're playing the blame game and they don't take responsibility. Maybe this person breadcrumbs you. Maybe they insulted you, but they thought it was a joke, or they said something that was, I don't want to say share it too much, but they said something that rubbed you the wrong way, and you didn't think of it as a red flag at first, but now that you're having it pen to paper, you actually acknowledge that this might have been a red flag. Anything that's like consistency, or something that you really were thinking is something that this person didn't have, that you really felt like you needed, or something that, a reason why it wouldn't have worked long term. In the video, she talked about how could you see yourself deal with this for 10 years or something like that, or for a lifetime. And I could not. And so so this is like the list of things. So every time this person pops into your head, every time you get a moment and you just feel like, I can't stop thinking about this person, or I can't stop thinking about this thing, or this thing that this person did, or like you just keep, there's like people that are mentioning this person or whatever else, you could go to this list, and it will remind you the reasons why you're not with the person, or it'll remind you the reasons why it didn't work out, or why you can't be with this person, or why you shouldn't be with this person. I shouldn't say can't, because you could always settle and be with the person, but who wants to do that for the rest of their life? And so, and then I wrote the future person. this is like the future person that you want as a friend or in a romantic way. And hopefully it's both because you want to build a strong foundation before you get into anything. Not that I'm a relationship person, I'm just saying for me, I feel like if I could be friends with someone, if I feel comfortable enough divulging how I feel or like in a place where I feel safe enough to express my opinion and hopefully they do too, then that's the core. That's like the foundation I would want to build any relationship on. And I don't know if like that's a thing, but that's what I would aspire to have. And so this is like all the characteristic traits or things that I might have been missing from the other person that I would want to have. And it's not just like a features thing. It's not just like maybe this person lifts 10 pounds and the other person can lift 100. Like it's nothing like that. It's all really true characteristic traits that really truly matter. Like core values, things like communication, reciprocity, consistency, equally yoked and believing in God. Like things like that are something that can't be changed. It's something that's set in stone. It's something that should be in the future person because if they don't have God as their number one, we're not going to work out because God is everything to me. And reciprocity, it can't be a take and take and take and take and take and take and take. It's got to be a give and take. And so I wouldn't want to be with someone who is completely selfish, that doesn't care about how anyone else feels but themselves, that never acknowledges what it is that they do wrong. They always want to put the blame on everyone else. Like, and I'm not saying this in general in like I'm trying to pick out this one person. I'm just saying these are things that I wrote down that I personally would want to have and and that would really matter to me. And respecting me. Like, I know you're probably like, okay, these are all things that someone should be doing anyways. Yes, they are. But you know how quickly we forget. And so for us to really take some responsibility and know that, okay, this person may have been all of this or done all these things, but what did we do? What is it that we could do better in the future? What is it that we would look for in the future? And I really got this off of some show a long time ago, but it said something about like you're ready or you know that you you can spot the person that you're supposed to be with or spot someone who deserves a chance when you know what you don't want. And so on this list I also put what I don't want. What I don't want is an inconsistent person. And these aren't things that someone could pretend to be because in time someone's true colors will come out. No one can just be consistent forever. They're going to eventually slip up. So these are all things that have to be like core values. It has to be at the person's core, who they truly are as a person. It can't just be something that's made up because you could be this way for a month and then the next month you might slip up, or 3 months and then the next thing you know you're a totally different person because you're not pretending to be something that you're not anymore. Eventually you're going to have to be true to yourself. And I don't want any person to be with me who's pretending to be something that they're not anyways. So it's anything that I need to know, God will show me. It's not like they're just gonna like continuously do this, and I pray about it every day because I want to make sure that I don't ever get in a position where I want to believe something and it is just not. And so after that, after doing some research, after like coming up with this list of the top four, and I really probably should have made this into like something else, but it was just something that I felt like it really truly helped me, and it will help someone else take their mind off of focusing on someone or something and just focus on yourself. Focus on you taking responsibility. Focus on what you want in a person. Focus on what you don't want. So that when people come at you with the bull, when people come at you with the gibberish, with the with the like mm, 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 when they really are off of that ish, like they're really acting like, you know, something that you don't want to have. You know exactly what you don't want. So while it's good to say, you know, you want someone that's being consistent, okay, make sure you know you don't want inconsistency. And what does that look like? Write down examples from different people in the past or from maybe family members, or it could be friends, anything. And that will show you exactly what not to settle for. And that way you don't feel like you're just constantly saying this person. And no, you don't have to take this list to the person. Please don't do that. Like, be mature, I know it hurts. I know you're feeling some type of way. You in your feelings. No, I'm not about to sing that in my head. But but I know you're in your feelings, but you got to let it go. You have to let it go so that God can use you, so that God can work on you, so that God can do all of the things that he needs to do in your life so that he can open doors for you. He can't open a door with all of this negative, nasty energy that you're holding on to. I know it hurts you. I know that you thought, I know that you imagined, I know that you fantasized or whatever else you did, but it's going to be okay. I promise you it's going to be okay. Just focus on God. Focus on God. God will take you everywhere that you need to go. You don't have to worry about trying to be something that you're not. You don't have to worry about trying to make something work because with God, it will work. I'm not saying there won't be good and bad days. I'm just saying that you don't have to do so much for something that's for you. You don't have to go all of the way out of the way. You don't have to be doing the most. All you have to do is be you and just put forth an effort in your life. Put forth an effort when it comes to focusing on God and all the things that he intends for you to do. Nothing more, nothing less. And so I'm going to close this out because I'm supposed to be gone a minute ago. Well, I might have a little bit of time, just depending, but they did say a certain time period, and then they said that they're going to head over there because it's supposed to start in like 30 minutes, and I'm 20 minutes away. I'm already dressed, but but I still had to get out the door. I still have to do some other stuff. I got to grab some things before I go. So that's going to take about like 10 minutes. So I don't want to be rushing. I don't want to be late or anything like that. So I do have to go unless God puts something in my spirit and I end up using the next 5 to 10 minutes for that. But but yeah, you guys are probably like, why does she always have to go somewhere? But I really, this is me not planning on things to do. Like I really just was like, actually I did have something planned tonight. I was supposed to be at a place, but we're having some kind of weather coming in and it would be in that area first. So by the time I got there, I probably would be stuck there. So I ended up not being able to go even though it was going to be so much fun. Like I was really looking forward to it, but there will be another opportunity, hopefully. God willing, there will be another opportunity. And I still get to go to this thing, which I usually go to every year with some family members. So it's still nice. It still worked out. And so, in conclusion, when it comes to the things that you want, not the things that God wants for you, but the things that you want, not the things that you need, you have to let it go. You have got to let it go. I know it is so hard. I know I know. I've been there. I can't pretend like I just never get hurt or no one ever doesn't like me or, whatever else. Like, I'm a human being just like you are. And I can't make someone like me. I can't make a job hire me. I can't make a person want to be my friend. All I can do is just be myself. And people either like me or they don't. And I know even me saying that statement, you're like, oh, that sounds easy because I'm sitting here. Like in real life, when people are like, oh no, I don't want to be your friend, or people don't usually say that. They usually just ghost you nowadays. I don't know what that's about, but we got to get back to the basics, which if God puts it on my spirit tomorrow, I might be talking about back to basics because, phew, I was really doing some self reflection yesterday and it really just made me think about a few things. And I'm not saying everything should be that way, but there's a few things that really do take real effort. Mostly anything that's worth it takes real effort. You can't just, I think I'm supposed to be going now. I feel like, hmm, I didn't get any. Oh, that's probably why my phone was going off. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, no, that's something else. Okay, I didn't, but I feel like someone's outside. I don't know. But but yeah, it's not easy in real life when people don't like you, when people don't give you a real chance to really, and I'm not saying show who you are, but for me, I really needed to prove to myself that I could stand on my own 2 feet, that I could really speak up for myself. And in one of my past experiences, I didn't even get a chance to like voice my opinion. I didn't get a chance to stand up for myself or anything. It was just that's it. Like, that's it. It was just like that. And I really felt some type of way about it. I really felt in my feelings like I couldn't let myself feel okay with it. Like, I kept beating myself up. I kept feeling like, well, maybe if I said this here instead of here, like, and things like that that you can never change because you can't go back. You can only move forward. And it's one of those things that Satan really tries to play on you with. He really wants you to feel like, if I can go back, I could change all of these things. If people could go back, there would be several things that would have changed in the world, and we just can't do that. And then he makes you feel like you don't have everything that you need when you do. Like, I have everything I need. There's nothing I could want for. Everything else that I get is just a bonus. For real. Like, like the peace that I have in my life. And I'm not talking about other people, being nasty or anything else. I'm just saying that for me personally, me and my house in this area with doing the things that I love to do, being in my business, helping other people, inspiring, speaking life into other people, working with different people is such a blessing. It's such a blessing. Anything that comes from someone else when someone else is like in a bad mood or they're not very nice is their own personal problem. I cannot live someone else's life for them. So they can't steal my joy or my peace. They will never be able to do that because God won't let them. And so, why do I still have like some of that in me? You see how I just did that? I'm trying to be better though. I'm trying to do better. At least I prayed for the people. I didn't say anything out of the way. I will not do anything that's like extra or anything like that. I'm just gonna lead with love and kindness, and hopefully they'll see the God in me. They'll see that I'm trying to be like Christ. They will see that I'm really trying to be a good person, and maybe I could be a witness for someone else, and I'll be part of their testimony in the future. Who knows? But all I can do is what I can do. I could just be the best version of me, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And when, like I said, when it comes to life, there's gonna be a lot of things that you want that you don't need, and you really have to let it go.